Rainmaker FM.
This podcast is brought to you by copyblogger.com. Words that work. Build your online authority with powerfully effective content marketing. Get superior content marketing education so you can build a remarkable online presence. Head over to copyblogger.com to learn more. That's copyblogger.com. Hey there, great to see you again. Welcome back to Copyblogger FM, the content marketing podcast. Copyblogger FM is about emerging content marketing trends, interesting disasters, and enduring best practices, along with the occasional rant. My name is Sonia Simone, and I'm the Chief Content Officer for Rainmaker Digital. You might want to remember that you can always get the show notes for every episode. That typically includes links, a lot of times free extras, by pointing your browser to copyblogger.fm. And that's also where you can get the complete show archive. So today I am going to talk about something that I have to say really does break my heart, and that is the number of good writers that I see, at least once a week, a wonderful writer who just can't find the kind of clients or employer that they deserve. And that heartbreak is probably somewhat self-centered because I have really been that person before I joined up with Brian Clark at Copyblogger. I was a freelancer and I just had a lot of trouble finding the right kinds of clients. And so that's always had, I've always had kind of a soft spot in my heart for that problem. Now, what I did about that problem is at Copyblogger, we created a program that helps resolve that, which is our certification program. And so I am going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit later point in the episode. And just in a nutshell, that program is where we, Copyblogger, certify people who are good writers. We help give them the insights that make them good content marketers. And then we really, really closely look at their work so that we can identify the writers that we can say, these are the writers we would really put our reputation on the line for that we recommend. And we only open this program up about once a year because I just like to keep that list, to be frank, kind of elite. I don't want too many people to be on that recommended writers list, or I feel like it loses the value. So if getting certified by Copyblogger as a content marketer sounds like something you might have an interest in, you can learn a lot more about it by pointing your browser to rainmaker.fm/certification. But now we're going to go into the main topic, which is what is it that keeps good writers from making a good living as professional writers, as business writers. And I have identified three things over my career as a writer. I've done, writing in lots of different ways and used it to make money in lots of different ways. And these are the three things that I see come up for people and that I certainly had seen come up for me. So before I launch into the three things, I've been thinking about this expression that strength is a skill. So this is an expression that comes out of a certain segment of the kettlebell community, strength training community. And this idea that strength is a skill means that it's not only about your innate genetics, and it's not even only about how often you pick things up and put them down. It's also about learning the right technique for strength and then practicing that technique deliberately so you get better. And in my observation, success really does work in a very similar way. So I don't feel like I can talk about success without just touching on luck, because luck is a huge factor in, which people become successful and which don't. But if it's really luck, then you can't change it, right? That's the definition of luck, is something that you didn't do anything to change the outcome. And in any event, I've really seen people who did get very, very lucky, and then they just threw all that success away with both hands. So today I'm going to focus on things that we can change to be more successful. With writing, it applies to a lot of different fields. And then, and also on the things that are not going to be unrealistic to change, because you're not going to get a personality transplant, right? You're not going to become a different person. But what could you realistically change to see more success with your writing? Or, it would definitely apply to other kinds of creative endeavors or business endeavors. Okay, so keeping our focus on writing, just so we can not be here for the next 4.5 hours. Skill number 1 is really to focus on what clients are willing to buy. So clients want results. If you have writing clients, they want results, normally business results. Most of the writing we do is for business clients. They don't realize that your writing ability, that your ability to put the words together is part of what gets them those results. So some people believe that your ability as a writer has nothing to do with your success as a writer, and I don't believe that's true. Better writing gets better results if, giant 10-foot tall if, it is paired with good strategy. If you're writing the right kinds of pieces and you're putting them together in the right way, then the quality of the writing does matter because it makes the writing more interesting and it makes it more fun to read. So caring about your writing, caring about, how the piece sounds, the music of the words, all of those things, where you're putting the commas, that all does matter. But it's strategy paired with that kind of, good writing voice that really makes your writing something that a client will want to pay you for. What they want to pay for is results. Your good writing is only part of how you get there. So if you ever listen to this podcast or you ever read a post on Copyblogger, you probably know what I'm going to say next, which is that you really do need to learn content strategy if you want to create content that achieves goals. And this podcast and the Copyblogger blog are really all about helping to teach you how to do that. So, if nothing else, you can just Google content strategy Copyblogger and it will pop up, lots and lots of material for you to work on. Real talk here, it's not rocket science. I mean, anybody who can learn how to write well totally has what it takes to just learn how to organize their work in a way that achieves business goals. So you have to be willing to do it and put the time in, but it's very doable. It's very achievable. Now, skill number 2 is pretty closely related to skill number 1, and that is positioning. So it's that art of packaging yourself in a way that you become something clients want to pay for instead of something clients don't want to pay for. I remember long ago, I used to work for a guy who, a very affluent guy, real estate guy, and he was having a sewage line problem with his house. And he had a quote for it. So, these problems, if you've ever had it with your house, they're not very pleasant. And he got the bill and he disputed the bill because they charged him like $100 to dig the trench for the pipe to go in. And he said, I don't pay that kind of money for labor. So my immediate reaction was this guy's a colossal creep, which, is maybe not totally unfair. But the takeaway is, this is somebody who will happily spend $200 or $300 on a good dinner multiple times a week. It's not that he doesn't have the money. It's that he's selective about what he wants to spend his money on. And most people are. So if you remember that old HBO slogan, it's not TV, it's HBO. Well, why did they have that slogan? They had that slogan because at that time, people didn't think that TV was something you paid for. TV is free. So what's going on with this HBO thing? People will pay more for something in package 1 versus package 2, even if it's the same stuff on the inside. That's just how it is. So if you want to start getting more clients, and especially if you want to start getting better clients, you have to wrap yourself in the kind of package that those clients want to pay for. And you have to look around and realize that there are umpty zillion freelance writers who are working for just pennies. And you have to figure out a better package to wrap up what you do in. Now, it's not in any way about misrepresenting what you do. It's really about what do you choose to highlight. And what I see a lot of good writers doing is they're taking something like, let's say, super premium quality, chocolate from France made in small batches with beautiful ingredients, and they're wrapping it up like it was a Hershey bar. They're wrapping it up like it was a commodity produced by the tens of millions. Don't do that. Don't put a cheap package on your valuable and impressive skills. And then the third skill, something that I have seen, I worked with many writers, I work with writers every day, is even if you do deliver like incredible client results, you have excellent strategy, and you've positioned yourself in the category of, a really serious writer, a good writer, not just something run of the mill, you still have to prospect. You still actually do need to go out and just make connections with people who might give you business. And a lot of good writers are actually good writers and especially good marketing writers because they're very, very respectful of people's time and attention. So they really, work that craft to make every word worth that audience time and attention. And unfortunately, these people are often super uncomfortable about prospecting. And I was very, very uncomfortable because I didn't know how to do it. So remember, going back, success is a skill. And reaching out to potential clients is a skill, and you can sort of do it the ugly way, you can do it the difficult way, you can do it the easy way. There's a lot of ways to do it, and some of them are better and easier than others. So this year, I took it as a focus on my time to add this element to certification for this year because it just kept coming up as something that was getting in people's way. People who were super talented, they still weren't getting the clients that they needed to get because they didn't have a prospecting system that was easy, that they could make a habit of, that didn't make them uncomfortable, and that didn't, freak out their potential clients either. You don't want something that just, makes everything awkward for people who might be your clients. So this year, the certification program is going to have some new material on how to do that, and particularly on how to make that prospecting a habit. So you're just always getting in front of new clients, and you've always got new people who have an interest in finding out just how amazing, what kind of great work you can do for them. We also have a new resource that I am actually really excited about because it lets people actually have that sales conversation without choking. In other words, sit down with that potential client and actually have a comfortable conversation without losing your confidence, without creeping out the client. It's really nifty. It's really brand new. So if any of this sounds like something that you would like to just find out more about, I'm also going to be presenting a few articles about success for writers and how people can maybe shed some of those old unhelpful habits or beliefs. Just point your browser to rainmaker.fm/certification. So if it's for you, rainmaker.fm/certification. And that's it for this week. Thanks, guys. Take care.